What's good? We're back in this thing. Today, not only are we back in the OG spot, I guess actually not even that OG, I've only been in California for like a month. So if you've been following me for longer than a month or watched my old videos, you'll probably recognize this place. This is my bedroom back at home in Chicago. The most recent videos have been in LA, obviously at our new house in the hills. Yeah, but not only are we back in the spot, we actually have a new preset pack coming out. It's a thermal preset pack, gives you over 100 looks, 25 different presets. I'm super excited to be announcing that. In the tutorial today, I'm gonna be showing you how to do the effect, and then I'm gonna be showing the pack as well. So I'm gonna roll a quick ad for it real quick, just so you guys see what I made. It's very similar to the paper one that you've probably already seen. Now that we're back from that, if you're new here, what I do is a lot of music video tutorials, effect breakdowns, video breakdowns. I do vlogs. Most of the time now, I'm going to be out in Hollywood, in LA, doing a lot of stuff with the Split Mind team. It's a producer collective, and we've been working with artists like Jazz Cartier, Warhols, and a few other that you probably know, and soon to be a lot more. So if you're interested in any of that stuff, be sure to follow me not only for the tutorials, but for the vlogs. Let's go for 500 likes, 100 comments on this video. You guys have been killing it recently, and it really does help push my content to other people that want to see my videos, these types of tutorials, vlogs, and stuff. And my goal for the end of the year is hitting 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. If you have a friend that's interested in this type of stuff, feel free to share it with them and help me reach my goal for 2021. If you want to support even more, you can go to my website, check out my texture pack, as well as now my thermal pack, the second digital product that I have up on my website, briandelmata.com. It helps support me as a creator, helps me make more videos like this, as well as you guys get some really high quality digital assets in return. Also, follow me on all social medias. I'll have them linked below: Instagram, Twitter, join the Discord, all that stuff. It's a good way to communicate with me outside of the YouTube comments, and it's a cool way to just interact, show you guys what I'm up to on a day-to-day basis. One last thing I forgot to mention before we get into this video: thermal preset pack is going to be 25% off for the first 48 hours of this video being live, using the code in the description at checkout. And then if you're watching this video after the first 48 hours, I'll have that code be 10% off. So you still found a gem. I appreciate you guys if you decide to support and get the pack. But yeah, guys, that's enough talking. Let's get into the video, break down this thermal effect, as well as show you guys the new preset pack. So this effect is from the Lil Gnar, Not the Same music video featuring Little Skies. All the people that did the VFX link below, they did a really good job actually at using the distort chroma and stuff on the wings, just making it pop a little bit more. And they also did the thermal effect in this music video. I actually haven't mentioned this or whatever, but the reason I came home from LA is just to work on some digital products that I've been working on for a while and start the V2 of the paper texture pack. This inspired me to finish the thermal pack that I've been working on for a while, because I saw it in this music video. I just saw some thermal effects and I thought it was really cool, and I think it's a really good effect to get into before it becomes too mainstream, because I think right now not many music videos are including it, because I just don't think there's the information out on it. People don't have all these different looks, but I think this is going to be a real popular effect coming soon. If you want to get in on the wave a little bit early and kind of have your own looks, definitely follow this tutorial or check out my preset pack. So they use it a few times throughout the music video. It's pretty cool. It has this grain look, a little bit spotty. The way they used it is just kind of for some texture in the music video. I think it's super simple and looks really cool. So I'll show you how I would use it. What I did is I went ahead and picked out a clip where I thought it looked pretty cool with some invert stuff on, and then what I'm going to go ahead and do is go to my preset pack, and I'm going to show you what it looks like and how to use it. So how to use the preset pack is all you have to do is install it by clicking import presets, and you should get a file. It's a Premiere Pro filter preset file, and you just click that and click OK, and it'll import it into Premiere. And then I tried to do my best job at naming all of them. Some of them are a little weird, but for the most part I just tried to name them as best as possible. This one, it says just try it. I don't know, so let's try that one out. I don't really remember what it looks like. I really like the way it looked, and it's just a cool way to cut away and give some kind of look to the video. I think it's a real good thing to use on B-roll, just add some texture to your music videos. And the way that I designed the preset is it comes with 4 things on it: the invert, that's off already; the RGB curves, that gives it the thermal look. I'll be going over that a little bit later in the video if you want to learn how to do it yourself. And then another invert, and then noise. So noise is optional. Obviously you can turn it on and off, and it gives it a different look. I think the noise is cool because it just adds more texture, and it kind of just gives that thermal gritty look. So I have that on by default. I do have the inverts off by default, and the reason is because the way I designed this preset pack was to have 25 presets but 100 different looks. And the reason there's 100 different looks is because for each preset there's 4 different looks. So if you turn on the invert before the RGB curves, it gives you this look, and then if you turn both on, it'll give you a different look. And this is for each one. It obviously changes for each one. And then if you turn off the first one, it's a different look. So there's 4 different looks in each preset. That's why I designed it this way, so you don't have to sort through 100 different presets. I just kind of chose pretty different ones that look unique and kind of try to name them the best as possible, so you can be like, whatever look you're going for, you can just quickly drag on like bubblegum or cotton candy. These are pretty easy ones to visualize. The Hulk, you're gonna do green and purple. Molden's one of my favorite ones. I'll go ahead and just go through a majority of them, just kind of show you what they look like. That's black and green. And you got to remember, I'm not going to go through all the looks because each one has 4, but I'll go through and drag them all on as I'm just talking here. That's the reason I went ahead and designed them, because yeah, it's a pretty easy effect to do and you can do it yourself, which I'll show you here in a second. But I went through and kind of just went through the tedious process of making them all. I've been working on it for a while. I got inspired to kind of finish it after seeing this music video and a few other music videos using the thermal effect recently. I just haven't had really time out in LA, so that's why I flew back to just kind of finish stuff and come out with some really cool looks for you guys. Molden's one of my favorite here. I think Molden looks really, really cool. And then Molden Rainbow. They're pretty similar on a clip like this, but when there's like more like the contrast of the clip, the highlights and the shadows and stuff, it'll be a little bit more apparent, the differences. I think that's what's really cool, is these are obviously all going to look different on different clips as well. There's really like endless looks for these. Individually, there are 100 different looks, 25 different presets. So just going through the last few here, just so you can get an idea of a fourth of the looks. Yeah, the washed ones are pretty cool. I like these. They have like a low contrast, kind of like old look to them for some reason. White hot, and then last one being yellow. So like I said, if you were to not like look of one, but you kind of see that it selects the colors you want or whatever, you can go through and just add one of them and then change the invert, and then you get a totally different look. And I think that one looks really cool for white hat actually, besides the default one. That's a default one. That's an invert, and I think just a really cool look for a cutaway scene. So now I'm going to be showing you guys how to make the effect yourself if you're interested in, just the tutorial and interested in learning how I made these. Like I said, it's a pretty simple effect, and the hardest part about it is just coming up with a bunch of different looks. You can play around with it and get something that looks really cool. And if you understand how the curves, if you guys have ever used RGB curves, that's the effect that I drag on. If you guys understand how this works, making these thermal things are actually pretty easy. But if you're not really familiar, I'll do a brief breakdown. So I like separating it into thirds right here. Most of the time when I'm color grading, not for this actually, but I'll just give it to you as an example. So this bottom third right here would be representing the shadows. So it'd be like the darks, the blacks, like maybe around here. The middle would be like your midtones, maybe like this like brown down here. Just stuff that's not super bright, and then the top part being shadows. So you can see if I bring the curve up here, you will see that the red starts coming into the shadows back here. Or you can see here, since the wings are really red, and I go into the midtones because it's like right around medium brightness. You can, as soon as I start taking it out, you can see that the absence of red and starts turning blue a little bit. So that's a general breakdown. I'm gonna go ahead and just reset this so they don't have specific dots. And then I just kind of go crazy. If you know exactly what you're looking for, like say you wanted the shadows to be red, you would do something like this. But it's all different, and depending on what you want. I'm going to leave a link to Stevan if you guys are familiar with him. He did a tutorial on this a little bit ago. I knew about the effect and how to obtain it, but I just want to give credit because he's already done a tutorial on it. So if you're interested in his tutorial or want to check him out, definitely do that. I'll have him linked below. This is a cool way to obtain it without colorama, because you can actually change what each tone is affecting. But for the sake of the tutorial, I'm just going to go through and just kind of go crazy with it. And you can see how this is pretty easy to do, but the reason I created the preset pack is because I spent multiple days just going through and tweaking each color to kind of get a cool look. You can do this, you can just go wild or whatever, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to look good for each one, because there's a certain amount of color combinations and stuff that just make sense together. What I normally do to start off is just kind of go crazy, and then we can tweak some stuff to make the effect look cool. So as you can see, that looks pretty cool. I'm kind of a fan of it. It's definitely a lot of different colors, and it kind of just looks like a huge mess of a bunch of colors. So I'm gonna take the greens out of the highlights just by dragging them down, because I noticed there's some greens in there, and then maybe also some of those reds in the big highlights over here. And then I'm actually just gonna bring in the blues. I'm gonna bring in the blues a little bit, and actually gonna bring back in some of the reds here. But yeah, like I said, this is the general concept for creating the looks. It's all about just how much you do combinations and what different things you can do to tweak it. Depending on the clip, depends on how you change it. So like if you wanted to take out the reds, you can take out the shadows. But like 95% of the effect itself is just toying with the curves to get the desired look you want. And then I also just like adding grain or noise into the clip. I think that just kind of ties the effect together. Most of the time I use color noise. You don't have to, but you can bring it up to 50, kind of where I kept it in my preset. And you can see that's a pretty cool effect. I'm gonna go ahead and copy and paste them over to some of the clips. So you can see that this is a pretty cool effect. Actually, it just depends on each clip. It's all separate on whatever clips you use. It's a little bit too much for me, but I know a lot of people are with different looks and stuff. So yeah, like I said, just play around with it as much as possible. One last thing before I end the video is just another cool way to use the preset pack and just this effect in general. You don't have to have the preset pack. So what I did is just found a clip where I want the effect to take place, and then I just duplicated it. And then I'm gonna go to into effects, go into my preset pack. Like I said, you can do the effect yourself. I'm just going to go to Molten because I know that's a really cool one that I like a lot. And then I'm going to go to effects controls, and then on the top layer I'm going to go to something like darken or lighten. I think these blending modes are real cool. So you can see it's just choosing the darker color and replacing it. And then I like going into the effects and typing in directional blur. And then if you start blurring it, you can see that you get this weird look. And then I just keyframe the blur length and maybe go 10, 15 frames ahead and keyframe it down to 0. And you can see you get this cool transition. You can play with the blending modes. A bunch of different ones look really cool. It's really dependent. And you can do a bunch of different things. You don't have to do just directional blur. This is just like an option. I noticed that it looks sometimes like almost like pixel sorting depending on the clip. Here, not so much, but you can see it still gives that really cool, like trippy look. So yeah, that was just a thought on cool ways you can use these RGB effects in your video. That's pretty much all I got for you guys in this video. If you did enjoy it, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. If you want the preset pack, I'll have it linked below. Like I said, 25% off for the first 48 hours of the video being up using the code in the description, as well as after the first 48 hours, if you do find this video, I will have it for 10% off using the code in the description. But that's pretty much it for the video.